Hi guys, I hope you're doing really well. My name is Sarah and welcome to What the Horror, the channel where we talk about horror movies old and new. Welcome to the very first and brand new episode of What the Horror in 2024. I hope you guys all had a wonderful holiday period, but we are back, we've had a rest, we've reset, and we're ready to make brand new content for you guys. I've missed you. And to kickstart off the year, I thought we would just ease into it, nice and easy. We're going to do a physical media haul. However, I didn't just get physical media in the horror area for Christmas. I also got a couple of other things, so I thought I would share those with you as well in case you're interested. I mean, they're horror based, so maybe you will be. Also, if I can leave a link to all of the things in the description box, I will do as well in case you're interested in getting one for yourself. So I have a pile of physical media and I have 4 prints to share with you and a daft little blind mystery bag of a horror figure, which I got as a little fun stocking filler, but I have saved to open with you guys on this channel, so we will be doing that as well. But I think the first thing that I will kick off with is what I am wearing. This t-shirt, can you see? Chillin' and killing. It is official Ghostface merchandise, but it's meant to be. Do you guys remember, or have you even seen Scary Movie, where the Ghostface killer in that film was doing a little bit like a rip on the Budweiser adverts? So I think that it's meant to be that.
What you doing, son? Nothing. Just chilling. Killing. True.
Either way, I love it, and it is my first Ghostface t-shirt, so yeah, that's why I'm wearing it. Hang on, my cat's shouting. Are you coming in then? No. Yeah. Rambo wants to say hello. He wants to say Happy New Year as well, don't you? Yeah? You're gonna help me show the things? He's gonna sit and grumble. Yeah. He's gonna sit and grumble. He gets jealous when he's not the centre of attention, so if I'm talking to somebody else, he doesn't like it, do you? Yes. Yes. Thank you. You go up there. As well as the t-shirt, I got 4 prints. They are two sort of similar ones. 2 are from one shop, 2 are from another shop. The first ones are from Displate, which is, you may have heard of it, but they do metal plate prints instead of paper or canvas. These are both horror inspired ones. The first one I'm going to have to try to, hang on, try to censor with my hand. It is the Jaws poster. Can you... Yeah, you can see that. I think the ring light's reflected in it. But yep, so I've got the Jaws poster because, well, I love Jaws. It's one of the greatest films ever made, one of the greatest horror films ever made. The second one is I Know What You Did Last Summer. Can you see that? There we go. Both of these are water-based horror films. They've both got blue in the colour, and you can't see it, but the wall behind you guys is blue, and so I'm wanting to do more with my filming room. I want to have more on that wall behind you guys because I am hopefully going to start doing things like streaming, and if I ever do guest spots where I'm using my webcam, that's going to be the backdrop, and I just want it to be a little bit more interesting than it is at the moment with just a plain blue wall. So like I said, these two, they both have blue, they're both water kind of inspired, so I'll be putting them onto the back wall just to, you know, add a little bit of character. Another person got me these next 2 prints, which they got from not a horror con, but kind of like a horror event, like a goth event where they have people doing their stalls. But the person who made these does have a page on Etsy. They are called, hold on, MGLovecraftDesigns. And they do a whole bunch in this range, which I'm going to show you, but I will leave a link to their shop down below in the description box, as well as a link to Displate in case you're interested in the metal prints. I have 2 of these. The first one is this one. There we go. Yeah, so it's the Conjuring house from the first Conjuring. So you've got the print of the house, the address, what film it's from, and a little quote of the film. The paper's kind of a yellowed, aged look with a blood splash, but I really love it. I mean, I do like the Conjuring films, but I think the Conjuring house, especially with this image with the tree and the rope, is such an instantly recognizable image and one of my favorite horror houses. So this is, like I said, the first one. And then the second one to go with that one is the Overlook Hotel from The Shining. You see that one? So again, you've got the same distressed aged paper, the Overlook Hotel. This one's quite cool because you've got the little snow caterpillar vehicle, and then you can just see Jack entering the hotel with the axe. I'll show you again so you can have a little, you see him? That's pretty cool. So again, you've got the address, the film, and then a quote for it. So the whole range is horror houses, horror buildings. They also do horror pubs, like the one from the Wicker Man, and I can't remember the other one, but there's things like the Bates Motel, there is Stu Macher's house, there's even the house from Barbarian, and there's all sorts. So I'll leave a link in case you guys are interested in those, but I love these two because, well, I mean, they're a great pair. I love The Conjuring, I love The Shining, one of the greatest horror movies ever made. Just such iconic settings. I don't know what I'm going to do with these two yet. I have a plan for the Displate ones. I don't have a plan for these. I might wall them like that, you can see, like above each other. I might put them in the entrance hall in my house, maybe. I don't know. I tend not to put too much horror stuff all around my house, and especially not in the entranceway because it tends to freak people out. One year when one Halloween I was doing my Insidious theme Halloween, especially Elise's reading room, and so my hallway was like Elise's reading room, and I had someone come to do the doors or boiler or something like that. Sorry, I've got something in my eye. And it just made them really uncomfortable that there was all this seance, occult kind of stuff. I don't think they made the connection that it was Halloween and were a little bit uncomfortable, so I tend not to put too much horror stuff there. But I do love the look of these, so they don't really have a place in the office, so they might end up in my entrance hallway. Okay, so now for the most exciting part, the physical media. Some of these are, some of these are ones I've asked for, some of them were surprises, but to be honest with you, I think these are all ones that I've asked for, not necessarily for the holidays, but just they were on my Amazon wish list, and so I've been very, very lucky and very, very treated to quite a good selection here. So some are just to complete collections, some of them are for upcoming episodes, some of them are older films, and some of them are brand new releases from 2023. Okay, so the first one is one of two Arrow collection films. I absolutely love Arrow because, well, one, they do original artwork for the film. They'll have the original print, but then they'll do an original piece of artwork, so you can choose which you want. Always beautiful, and they are just, I mean, chocker with special features. But I have two new Arrow editions. You'll see a theme with them, but the first one I have is A Tale of Two Sisters, the Korean horror film. Is the light shining? Nope, there we go. And look at how beautiful this cover is. You do have the original, which I'll show you. Can you see that? There is the original artwork, but I just love the original, not the original piece for the release, but the original piece of artwork that Arrow have done. This one I think is so beautiful. If I could have that out displayed like that face forward, I would, because I love it. There is what I mean with the special features. I mean, look at how many there are. And the next new Arrow edition that I got is the Japanese horror trilogy One Missed Call. So you have One Missed Call, One Missed Call 2, and One Missed Call Final. I've only seen the first, I'm just going to put this one over here. I've only seen the first One Missed Call so far, but I did want to watch 2 and 3. And also, you may have noticed a theme with these two Arrow editions. This year, I am going to be doing some more episodes focused on Asian horror, in particular, comparing the Asian horror film to its American counterpart, the American remake. So I am releasing an episode coming up probably next week, which will have an update of the channel for 2024, and I talk a lot more in detail about the plans for those episodes, so you make sure you stay tuned for that one. But yeah, I wanted to have these two on physical media just because I am going to be doing those episodes, I am going to be researching them, but also the Arrow ones have so many special features. When I did my comparison between Sadako and Samara from Ringu and the Ring, I have the Arrow edition of Ringu, and the special features on there were just, I can't even tell you how helpful they were. There was a video essay on there which was a big bulk of my research, so I'm really looking forward to not only having the films but also having the special features. I've only seen the first One Missed Call. I've seen the American remake. I've not seen 2 and 3 in the Japanese trilogy, so if you have, let me know what to be expecting with those. Oh, I should say with A Tale of Two Sisters, so I've never actually watched this one all the way through. I got it from a video rental store years ago, like maybe, I don't know, 18, 19 years ago, something stupid. And this was only a few years after I'd had the trauma of watching Ring You, and I don't know what I was thinking trying this one, but there was a scene in this that I feel like it's to do with a girl in a sack, and it creeped me out so much. I was like, nope. No, not for me. So I turned it off, didn't finish it, but I'm looking forward to giving it another try. I am a much more seasoned horror fan now, and I love Asian horror, so yeah, I'm looking forward to me trying it and actually watching it all the way through and completing the One Missed Call trilogy. Okay, the next one is another special edition. This one is from 88 Films. I already have the collection they did of the I Know What You Did Last Summer trilogy. I got that when it was the 3 individual film cases within the beautiful box, and you got the poster and the cards with it as well, because I love I Know What You Did Last Summer, so I wanted to have that in the full collection. But I now have the Urban Legends trilogy collection, which again has the artwork done by 88 Films, but now it's just a more streamlined one singular case, but with all 3 of the trilogy, along with any special features that they have on as well. I like Urban Legend. I think that it's, you know, it's kind of underrated. It's pretty stellar for cast, especially with some horror alumni there with, what is it? It's Brad Dourif, Robert Englund, and I know there's more. Give me a minute. There's definitely more. But anyway, it's good. It's underrated. And I want to watch the second and third one. I have a bit of a soft spot for horror films that are based on a curse or an urban legend or, I don't know, some, you know, lore or tradition. So I'm intrigued about watching these ones, especially, is it the second or the third one? The one that is Bloody Mary. Oh, yeah. Sorry. So Urban Legend Final Cut is the second one. Urban Legend Bloody Mary is the third one. I don't expect miracles being the third in the trilogy, but I'm interested in that one. Oh, an 8-part documentary on the making of Urban Legend, 147 minutes long. An 8-part documentary on the making of. Who knew there was so much to say about the making of Urban Legend? Okay, next is a film that I watched for the first time this year. I've been meaning to watch it for years and years and years. This and one similar to it, and that is the original The Haunting, which came out, I believe, 1963. So I wanted to watch this one and the original House on Haunted Hill, and I did watch both of them in my 31 days of Halloween, my 31 watches for October, and I absolutely loved it to death. This one and House on Haunted Hill. Maybe this one slightly more, but again, I just wanted to have it on physical media because, you know, with streaming platforms, you never know when you're basically held at the whim of the people curating the streaming platform. You never know when that film will be removed. And this is one that I watched for the first time, instantly connected with it, knew I would want to watch it again. And so I just wanted to have my own copy of it so I can watch it whenever I want. There are some special features. There is a commentary by some actors, actresses, director and screenwriter, and the theatrical trailer. So nothing that's going to blow your socks off, but the commentary could be pretty interesting. I do love an audio commentary. Does anyone else put a film on that they love, but watch it with the audio commentary more than the film itself? Have you ever done that? I've done that with 2 films. I've done it with Saw. I love putting Saw on with the audio commentary, but I also did it with this really weird it was a horror film back in the early 2000s. It was a British one called Death Watch, and it was set in the First World War. And I don't know, just the audio commentary, the people that were doing it, I think it was a mixture of director, some of the actors, they were just having so much fun, and it was just enjoyable to listen to that. So I used to watch Death Watch with the commentary on more than just the film itself. So yeah, really excited to have The Haunting. I don't have any other editions of The Haunting in terms of film. I do have the book. I do. Yes, I do have the book by Shirley Jackson. I have the remake of House on Haunted Hill. Yeah, I know. But I do want the original of that one as well. So that one's still on my wish list. Okay, the next one is a film from last year, which has been on my wish list ever since I first saw it. And that is Pearl, the prequel in Ty West's trilogy. Maxine trilogy, would you call it? X trilogy? Anyway, I loved Pearl so much. I loved X as well, and I think I will get a physical copy of X at some point. I did love that, especially the 70s setting, but I think I liked Pearl more. And I think Pearl, if I'm remembering correctly, might have been my second favourite horror film of last year. I know... No, oh my god, not last year, because last year was 2023. The year before, 2022. So Barbarian was my favourite, but I think Pearl was my second favourite. I cannot believe we're in 2024. So again, I wanted this one on physical media, not just because I want to be able to watch it whenever I want, but I also want to do a deep dive into the character of Pearl, because I think that she's one of the most fascinating and complex characters we've seen in horror films in quite a while. There was quite a lot of backlash on my tier list ranking of horror icons for including Pearl, which I did make it very, very clear that the tier list I was doing was actually made by Cody Leach, but I am backing him 100% in including Pearl because Pearl is a horror icon. But the fact that both of us considered that, there was a lot of backlash, but to be honest with you, I don't really care. I like Pearl. I think that she's a fantastic character, and I do want to do a deep dive. So I got it hoping there would be special features. However, there's not a single mention on the back of any special features, which is a shame. I'm hoping when I put the disc in, there's still going to be some, even if it's just an audio commentary. But if there's not, I am quite disappointed about that, because I was kind of hoping for some good research material. But either way, I own Pearl, and Pearl is wonderful. Okay, the next one, some of you may think, why would you want that in your physical media collection? But when it comes to some things, I'm a bit of a completionist, and this is one of my top 3 horror franchises of all time, and there were a couple missing, so I wanted to get Jigsaw. Yes, I wanted to have Jigsaw in my collection. I mean, who knew? I'll just show you the back there. Woo! Who knew? Years ago, I had absolutely no interest in owning this film whatsoever. I said with absolute conviction, I'm not bothered about watching that. I don't want that in my collection. A Saw film with nothing to do with the original people. And then I watched it last year. It'll give me a minute to get used to it being 2024. I watched it last year because Zach and I did a Saw Unanswered Questions, and I wanted to know if there were any from this film. He quite rates this one, so I thought, okay, I'll go in open-minded, give it a go. And I actually quite liked it. I quite liked Logan as a character, and spoilers, as a killer. Is it the best Saw film? No. Does it really feel like a Saw film? No. But yeah, I enjoyed it. So yeah, I wanted to just have it in my collection. That way I have a complete Saw collection. As I said, I'm a bit of a completionist with some things. And I don't hate on it like everybody else does. I think it is a perfectly fine film. It's not the best Saw film. It is not, it doesn't exactly feel like a Saw film, but it has its benefits. It has its positives to it. And it does have some special features. We have audio commentary with the producers, I Speak for the Dead, The Legacy of Saw, which could be quite interesting to watch. The Choice is Yours, Exploring the Props. Oh, okay, so it does have the same producers as the others. Okay, the next one is another film that I watched for the first time this year. Again, I believe for my 31 days of October. If you're interested in what I watched for the 31 days of Halloween, I do leave a link to my Letterboxd account in the description box down below, and if you go on there onto my list, you will see not only a list for what I watched, but a companion piece list which is ranking what I watched. I'm a list maker. I like making lists. But I watched this one. This one has been recommended to me for years, and I should have listened to the recommendation because this movie is a bit of me and I absolutely loved it. I think I gave it 5 stars on Letterboxd. Oh, and it's keeping you in suspense as well because you don't know which film I'm on about. Yeah, I gave this a 5-star and a heart rating, and that is The Changeling from 1980, I believe. But it feels like a film from the 1970s. It's still got the fashion, the aesthetic. It is a haunted house film. This chappie here, he moves into a house to focus on his music after a loss, a bereavement. And yeah, it's a haunted house, but it's set in fall or autumn. And yeah, wonderful aesthetics, 70s feel to it, genuinely creepy. There were moments in this film where I felt so unsettled and creeped out. There was one scare that actually ended up making me laugh because it just had a comical a comical feel to it, but I was quite grateful of that because it was a bit of reprieve, is that the word? A break, anyway. When I did my physical media full collection video, I have Leigh Whannell's Upgrade in this black collection. And I did say in that I didn't know why it was a black box. And one of my very helpful and very kind subscribers did explain to me what the black box means. And I know it's something to do with a particular pressing or release or publication of it. And I'll be honest, I've completely forgotten what the reason is, but I do know that it means it's a special edition, and you can tell because of the number of special features that it has. I'll show you the back. I won't read them all. You can pause it and read them if you want to. A couple that I am really excited about and don't know what to expect is Exile on Curzon Street, Peter Medoc on his early years in swinging London, and The House on Cheeseman Park, the haunting true story of the Changeling. Woo! Sorry, I was just coughing with all the excitement. Yeah, not the cheapest edition, but if you like the film, worthwhile having it in a physical media form. I do have it in this form because this is the only one available to me in the UK. This is, if I want to own it, this is the only choice that I have. But I think it's worth the investment for me. It was an instant 5-star film. I will definitely be rewatching it. And I will be honest, a couple of you guys have requested that I do look at this film, that I do a deep dive of it. I don't know if you want me to review it or deep dive it, but you've asked for it. And now that I know I love it, and especially considering all the research that I have on it, I think this could be a possible episode coming up in 2024. So let me know if you would like to see that. Okay, the next two are films that were released last year in 2023. As of now, before I show you these, the only ones that I had on physical media was Megan. I saw that, loved it, wanted to have a physical media copy of it, but that's the only one that I invested in until I got these two. Neither of these are going to be a surprise to you, but the first one that I got was Insidious Red Door. Now, I know the Insidious franchise is not for everybody, and I can understand why. The irritating, loud, screechy instrumental noises throughout the first two films can be a little bit too much, and you know, the directing or writing isn't going to be for everybody, but I love Leigh Whannell's writing. I think he's incredibly talented, and so I love this franchise very much because I love the Lambert family, but I also love part 3 and 4. I love part 3 and 4 on a very personal level. So I just love this franchise. This film is interesting because this is the first Insidious film that I saw at the cinema. This is also the first film that I saw in the cinema all on my little lonesome. Yep, I had never previously been to the cinema on my own, but with Insidious I went on my own, and yeah, it was just a really wonderful experience. When the film had ended, I was sat there on my own in the cinema. The song at the end, the ghost song, was playing, and I just was having a bit of a moment. I was loving the music. I loved that I'd been able to come on my own, like a little a date with myself to see a horror film, and I was seeing Insidious on the big screen. And so I wanted to have this, A, because it completes my Insidious collection. I have all of the other 4 films on physical media, so it completes my collection, but it's just a nice little memory for me of that experience last year. So I was very happy to have this one. Special features are a little lackluster. I will say the others are pretty good for special features, especially chapter 2. That one has some really good ones. This one has 2, past, present, further, and a possessed director. So I'm guessing that's going to be a piece on Patrick Wilson, seeing as how it's his first time directing. Past, present, further, again, I guess that's a look into the further, which I feel like we've already explored behind the scenes, but could be worth a look. Okay, my battery just died. I'm on my 3rd battery for this video, so I do apologise if the framing has changed, but we are on to the last piece of physical media. Again, if I said you weren't going to be surprised by me getting Insidious, what do you think the last one is? Yes, it is Saw 10. Of course it is Saw 10. Woo, can you see that? Is it focusing? Yeah, I got Saw 10 because, again, this was a wonderful moment for me because I, again, went on my own to see it. And I've told this story, I think, 3 times now, but if you haven't heard it, I'll tell you it again. This is the first Saw film that I've seen in the cinema to completion. I did go to see Saw 3 at the cinema when it came out in 2006, but I left after Kerry's Trap. I know, right? Before I even saw that Adam returned for it. Kicking myself for that. But back then I was hella more squeamish than I am now. So I did go to see this on my own. I did see it through to completion, so I was very, very proud of myself, which sounds so pathetic, but I don't know, it just felt like a bit of an achievement. You know, it shows growth in desensitization, I guess. But yeah, I loved that I'd seen Saw on the big screen. It was such a wonderful surprise for us Saw fans. I was just riding on a bit of a high for the weekend after watching this film. And yeah, I wanted to have it on physical media. I don't always invest in a 4K film because they're not the cheapest, but I do have the ability to see 4K. So often I think, well, I should be utilising that. I should be making use of it. But I'm quite choosy with what films I get. They're usually ones that really showcase what 4K can do, or they're ones that are really important to me or close to my heart. And I think that visually Saw 10 was pretty impressive. I think the colours will look wonderful in 4K. And it also does the, yes, Dolby Atmos. So not only is it visually going to be good, the sound is also going to be really good. And it's, you know, it's great seeing films in the cinema, but sometimes if you have a really good home setup, it can actually be more enjoyable, I think. So this one does have some special features. It comes with the 4K version and the Blu-ray version, and both of those have special features. I don't know if it's the same special features for each disc, but you've got audio commentary with director, editor, Kevin Grutert, and cinematographer Nick Matthews, and production designer Anthony Stabley. Then you've got a documentary called Reawakening, the making of, drawing inspiration, illustrated scene breakdowns with Kevin Grutert, and makeup department trap tests, deleted scenes, and theatrical trailer. I'll show you the back. So I'm really looking forward to being able to rewatch this film, but also to check out the special features. If you're new here, you won't know this, but if you've been around for the previous year, it was very Insidious and Saw heavy because of these 2 new installments coming out. I did do some deep dives and looks into each franchise, especially Saw. I did a really big deep dive on the first film. I have done rankings of all different elements of them. So I really, really like to get into the meat, as it were, of these films. So the special features are always a must have for me. Plus, I did promise you guys that I would do a ranking of every single Saw trap, and the only reason I didn't do that last year was because I had only seen Saw 10 once in the cinema, and I wanted to wait until I had it on physical media so I could rewatch it. And well, I'm going to go back and watch the entire franchise again like I did last year so that I can rank all the traps and finally get that episode out for you this year. Hopefully in the earlier part of it as well. So that is it for prints and physical media. Oh, and tea. But I do still have the mini mystery pack. This was just a daft little stocking filler. You can get a character from It, Friday the 13th, The Exorcist, The Nun, Nightmare on Elm Street, Annabelle Creation, The Lost Boys, or The Case of La Llorona. So I'll show you the front cover. Can you see them, or is the light too shiny on it? You see that? There we go. Let me know down below if you could get one, which one you would want. I'll show you the back as well. Maybe you can see them No, that's not much better, is it? I kind of want the Curse of La Llorona one. I just love that she's a bride rocking Alice Cooper kind of eyeliner makeup. I quite like that. I also quite like the expression on Valak's face. I'd love to know what's happened to her to make her make that expression. Okay, so let me know down in the comments, A, what you think it's going to be, and B, which you would want it to be. How do I get into this thing? Scissors? Okay. Are we ready? I will be honest, even though I've waited to open this, I have had a bit of a squeeze of it. Here we go. Oh, I was completely wrong. It is not who I thought it would be at all. It's Freddy Krueger. We have a little Freddy Krueger doing a crossed leg, crossed hand thing. Can you see him? Oh, it's so hard to tell from back here if he's in focus. I think he is. That's his front. And that's his back. You've got all the ridiculous trademark stuff. That always spoils things like that, doesn't it? And then he's got his scars and his burns. And I guess you can just little clip him on your bag, clip him on your keys. I thought, I don't know what I was feeling, but I thought that I had Jason. Yeah, I thought I had that one because I thought I could feel the front of his mask and then the strap on the top of his head. So I don't know what it was that I was feeling that made me think that. So yeah, a little Freddy. I think I'm happier that it's Freddy than Jason because I don't love the Friday the 13th films and I do like the Nightmare on Elm Street ones a lot better. So anyway, cool. Well, I'm glad I waited and opened that with you guys. There was also one other thing that was very nearly included in this haul. It is horror related. Someone almost, well no, actually paid for a life-sized cardboard cutout of Leigh Whannell. Yeah, it was paid and bought for, but they just decided to never ship it out, so they had to get a refund instead. If that had come, I would have included that in this little horror haul, and he would have pride of place in my little filming room / studio, but alas, it was not to be. But that is it in terms of my horror haul and physical media update. Let me know if you have invested in any more physical media or got gifted some over the holidays. Which did you buy? Have you invested in any physical media copies of films from last year? Were any of them ones that you liked enough to want a physical media copy? I think for me, that's about it now with Megan and Insidious and Saw 10, although if Renfield comes down in price, I might invest in a copy of that, maybe. And if they did physical media copies of the Hell House LLC franchise, I would get the recent one of that, the Carmichael Mansion one. Scared the bejesus out of me, did that one, but I don't think there is a physical media copy of that one at the moment. I am so glad to be back here making content for you guys. There should be potentially 2 episodes coming out next week. Like I said, I am going to be doing my channel update for 2024, but Night Swim is also being released in the UK tomorrow, so I want to get my review of that out for you next week, but it won't be on my usual release date of Sunday. Sunday will be the channel update release, and the review will be coming out either Tuesday or Wednesday, so make sure you click the notification bell so you don't miss it. I will announce it in the community page as well beforehand, but just so you don't miss it because it's not my usual release date. But in the meantime, thank you as always for stopping by. I really do appreciate it. Take care of yourselves, a very happy new year to you, and I will talk to you in the next episode. Bye.